Hello everyone, this is Don, Kingdom 362, and I'm going to do a real quick one here on the spine breaker because one of my number one questions is, does it work on defense? How does it work on defense? I don't understand how it works in rallies and tiers and things like that. So this last KVK was the first time that I wound up taking over tower leader because I wound up being the stronger stats of the person that was there. And you see, I only got a 56 airship here, and none of my stuff's maxed out. I don't even have maxed out guards, none of that stuff, but my stats were just stronger of who was there. So when a rally comes in, and I'm the mega leader, everybody's a little bit more at risk than what they would be. While we sat here and looked at their airship and like, oh wow, this guy's gonna mow over them. The rest of their stats weren't up to par. For those from which kingdom was this? It doesn't tell me anymore. Anywho, the matter of fact, that you can see down in the bottom half of the stats where their airship overwhelmed me on the damages and the damage received, and on all those other numbers. And then if you just look at a page one, 278,000 troops lost, you go, oh my God, that's a huge amount of loss. And it is, except for one thing. I'm not the one that lost it. So we're going to go to page two. We're going to go to battle details. All right. And we are going to show right here our primary person in there. We're killing infantry. All right, because they're not getting, and we're killing a lot of infantry. The matter of fact, it was a complete, survived 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That was their rally leader. All right. Their rally leader got hurt. And that's typically what happens with the rally leader. If you're not a coiner, being a mega leader is not. But they had other good, strong players in there. So, someone named Anonymous. Now, they had to have some survivors. And if you read my rally, you'll understand why the first few people are getting zeroed. And it has to do with damage carryover. And my damage numbers are pretty good. So we carried down really far into their march. But I want to show the defensive numbers down here. Defender. Lady Macbeth was our original, and I just happened to be a little higher on her. Now, she took huge losses. All right. Because she brought 2 tiers. Brought her top 2 tiers in there. So out of that 200,000, she took 30, 42 there. 42,000, a quarter of it was her infantry. And then we get down to, who is this? Mad Life. Okay, another 30, almost another quarter, because he did top 2 tiers. Was his infantry. And it's another quarter of the, 20% of what we're losing there. And who we hear? Josh, that's one of our Chinese players, lost a lot of his infantry. All right. Now we're going to get down to me, where I had to spread out. Mine survived. Now I took some tier 8 losses. Now, I want you to notice I didn't take any tier 10 losses. The reason is I didn't have tier 10. I had just proxy 30. I didn't even have the time to build any tier 10s because I hadn't upgraded the barrack shed or no T10s whatsoever. And I'll warn you, if you're one of these people that does these last minute build ups, and I see a lot of people do it right before a KVK or a big event, where they proc up their castle one level. Don't go up there and build one barrack and say, oh, I got my castle, my barracks, let me build T10 infantry. If you can't build all three, your cavalry, your infantry, and your distance, don't bring any of that tier. They have to be balanced. Don't go saying, I'm going to go roll with what I got, because you're going to go roll with dead people is what you're going to do. All right. So, now, my high battlefield treatment, which was 60 because I procced my life's preserver right before the hit, and I'm assuming that almost no one else did. That was probably a big portion of the kill ratio there. That's what made these survive. Now, I would have took a 30,000 loss. Okay, so I took 3,000 in kills, and then 30,000 went to the survival mode, and then that was it for me. Now, it only rolled my top 3 in this report. I had a full Spinebreaker March in there. The reason it didn't roll any of these other numbers down here, I don't know. They may be making adjustments. What's funny was I was a mega leader, so you'd think it would roll all of mine, but it did not. So they show all of his, and that's probably because he was taking losses in there, whereas mine was not. So everybody else that rolled, because they were a little bit weaker. Now, one of the things I think that is going on here. Oh my gosh, who was that? I didn't even notice that before I pulled up this video. El Poloco. I don't know, but he is loco because he rolled in there with artillery. And they all died. So he got a great troop training, but not somewhere we had what we had. I should have sent him back long before he got there. All right. But at the end of the day, I only had to heal 2,000 troops. I had a 700k power loss from this one hit. And I've had days at KVK where I've lost 60 million power. And having more of your marches, see, we had more of our rally members in here with a properly spread out tiering. And those are the guys that took the fewer losses. So, work on your battlefield treatment. Tiering does work, despite what anybody's telling you that it does. They go bigger is better. It works just as well on offense as it does defense. And now that we have, and while that is in this report, we didn't have it when this hit took place. And I'm talking about the war reports. You know what? It'd just be easier to close it and open it again. There we go. Where it said 0000s for me, didn't have them. All right. So, while we're talking about Spinebreaker on defense, let's talk about your role as a player and the war reports. So we're going to go into the Library of War. See, I don't think I have enough banners. Anyhow, the first one is sacrifice. All right. Now I want you to realize what you have to do to get this 3.5% damage buff. First of all, with Spinebreaker, your infantry's already taking the damage, because I modified the march so that the leg that you know you need to double and triple up on is infantry, so that when you send reinforcements, so after that hit, that you just witnessed. What would I have been sending for reinforcements? Okay, here they come. I already had 50k more infantry on its way. I knew it was going to die. I set it up to die that way. I set it up so that my distance is killing off their cavalry in such a way that their infantry dies. Okay. There was some things about what kills what. It's about, having a three-legged stool and us breaking a leg off. Really hard to balance at that point. It's the cascading portion. So I often simplify it, trying to not explain step 3 by what you're doing in step 1, because everybody gets a little confused. I just oversimplify it and say, increase your distance, you're going to get more infantry kills. Okay? And I know that there's a step in the middle that's taking place, but explaining the math on that just goes zoom over people's heads. They download the spine breaker, they implement it, and they go, oh, wait, looky there, none of our stuff died. I love it. All right. So you get this buff only when you have 50% more. 50% of your march is infantry. That means if I got a 250k march, 126k of it has to be infantry. Now, that situation will occur if you're reinforcing with infantry like I did. You're going to be 30 to 40% infantry, but your infantry's going to die. You may not get there. So you see, I haven't put a war book in there. There's a reason for that. I really don't want that blend. I would love to have 3.5% damage. That's the same as having 35% extra stats on my health side, but I don't have it. Okay, so command of your infantry with a morale boost. We're going to increase our defense by 3% for all your infantry. All right, that's a good one. The defense is always good. I would have kind of wished I hadn't have chose that, because we're going to get over into, let's go into distance. Your first two, all right, adds 3% of your distance defense to their attack power. This allows you to stack your defense gems and get attack power out of them and kill more infantry with this buff. All distance is a really good buff. Okay, it's good for attack, it's good for defense, it works with the spine breaker. I picked one real quick because it was cheap and I hadn't had time to read them. Once I got the time to read them and break down what they're doing, that's when I went, the first one I picked, oh well. Because here's the key about these. They get more expensive with every one you check, and you can't undo them. So, the Iron Will. Wait a minute, that's not the one I want. Is it the one I want? That was. Okay, that's the defense. We're going to avoid that. Oh, maybe this is what I was wanting to look at. Okay. You got to read the math on these things here. Will give you extra damage where 2.5% of every 250% of your health minus your enemy's health. So, I watched some of the KOA stuff out there where they go, oh my gosh, this is a game-changing. Well, it was for the guy who bought it first. And it's a game changer for somebody who has overwhelming stats. Because what's going to be reflected in the stat report is some C40 that's got 2,400 stats, went in there and bought all these things, and he's got 1,000% more health than somebody else. That is going to wind up being 10% more damage for his marksman. And it's going to have insane amounts of kills. All right. But what this is also saying is if this if all stats are given equal, nobody gets an advantage. So what somebody did, from all the videos that I've seen, did was somebody that had a lot of money went out and bought these war things, did a test hit on a little C10 farm somewhere, and then procced up their stats and said, "Oh, look, I'm up 30% in my damage bonus." Yeah, against a C10, and you were going to devastate that person anyway. So this is not a place where I would spend any money. Okay, so this is one of these things you do for free later, just for fun. So watch these 3% of your minus the enemy's attack power. Watch these plus and minuses. All right. It's the minuses that'll get you. Cavalry's got the same setup over here as the distance. Thunderous charge. Everybody goes, "Oh my gosh, thunderous charge is phenomenal." Yes, anytime you increase your attack power, it's a good thing. Again, this would be another place that I would put. This will be where I put my next war book. Because as I stack my defense gems, my distance and cavalry attack is going to go up. So that number is just going to scale as I buy gems. And that means my money being spent gives me double stats. So the all cavalries and the all distance would be my first places to go. The infantry, here's the funny thing. In order to get the other two stats to engage properly, you're buying more defense. You're going to stack more defense on your gems, your gear, your airship, blah, blah, blah. Everywhere that you stack the defense to get this thing, you're just... I'm sorry, I got the wrong one open again. This is the one I meant. So this adds to just nothing but defense. You're already going to be... So if I was buying a stat, this is not a place I'd buy it. All right, so this is one of these things to look at the plus and minuses here. For those that are doing it for free and doing it as it comes and things like that, get into the distance. Get into the all cannons and the thunderous charge. All right. And then stack up your defense on your gems. So get in there. Oops, I clicked on a coat. All right, so yeah, get in there, get your gems in there. And see, I got some cheap ones still to upgrade stuff. I stack health first. Health is the counter to damage. So you see my orange gems are health gems. And then I've got a bunch of orange attack gems. I was doing something that week and I can't remember what. But not normal when I build these things up. So, and then on the airship, I will show you the signs. So, like, I'm on my cavalry health. So I've stacked my health up in there because it's a counter to damage. So that's the first place I'm going. So once I start getting my manuscripts, and you can shoot for manuscripts in the shooting gallery, by the way. You don't have to buy those things. I know it's $40 for one. So it's $160 if you buy them to unlock them. For $160, you can get them out of the shooting gallery, and plus all the stuff you get in between them and the stuff. So don't buy the manuscripts directly. Buy the gallery coins and shoot for them. Much more loot per dollar if you're in a hurry. Do it that way, or if you're spending the money, do it that way. All right. So the shooting gallery is a good thing now, guys. They kind of made it so that if you pay attention to the math, the shooting gallery is the place to spend a little bit of money to get a lot of stats. What are we gonna do here? Let's blow this up a little bit. And war. I wanted to show you our last UAC. Now you saw my stats for the KVK. This was, we had so much treasure, we had no bonuses. So you see my stats for this UAC and that KVK were the same. And these are solo hits using the spine breaker, where they ran rallies at me. So this is a defensive hit. They ran a rally at me. I lost 5,000 of their 7,500. But then again, he wasn't near as strong as, I mean, the other one had a uber airship the whole 9 yards. This is a weaker airship, so that was a minute and a half worth of healing. They I mean, 800,000 troops spread out over a few, I mean, they were down for an hour, unless they're gold spending. So the spine breaker on defense, I wanted to show you one more of those, and see, I think I saved somewhere. I don't remember why I saved that one. I saved that one because it was my biggest kill ever, 900,000 in one shot from a solo hit. This is one of these things where, yeah, and I had a lot of stats on him, but I mean, I devastated. That was a single shot hit. We had some castles that had million troops that time, and they built up their troop stats more than they built up their troop count more than they built up their troop stats. And it's not just the stats, but we go in there and we break a leg off, and it becomes a devastating collapse there. I overrun them a little bit, but this is one of these things where I remember why I kept this one, and that's because there's a myth out there, and it's not a myth, it's just a multiplier of, you know, you're not going to break somebody with 1 million troops. Well, there it is, black and white. You can break somebody with 1 million troops. Okay. Don't be so scared of these guys with 1 million troops. If they're building, you know, if they're a super coiner and they got 1,000,005 troops and all their stats are perfect, yeah, you need to be scared of that guy. But if there's somebody who is faking themselves to the top of their kingdom's top 10 list by building troops instead of real power, take them down a peg. You know, that 900,000 troops during the UAC, that guy spent a little time in the hospital. You know, that was a minimum 4 hours if you had uber heal gear. So it's something to remember. And I need to go in and clean my mailbox up is what I need to do. All right, guys. So what I need you to do, I'm going to put a little article with this one and a couple screenshots, and it's going to be on rogersraiders.com, pluralization, rogersraiders.com. The spine breaker is in an Excel spreadsheet. It is behind a login wall. You've got to go to the Facebook or the Twitter login, click that. It's in the header of the website. And I actually get people like, oh, I can't find a place to log in. Big blue button that says click here to log in with Facebook. So I can't help you there. You know, I put it at the top of the website. It's half the page on your phone. After that, I don't know how to help you with that one. But then once you've logged in the menu bar, it'll say Spinebreaker, right there in the menu bar. So if you're on your phone, you're going to download it. And if you have an iPhone or a tablet, you can put the an Excel app on your iDevice so that you can work the formulas. Because there are formulas built into that Excel spreadsheet, you have to have the Excel app. So either download it to your computer, have somebody download it for you, and save it as a PDF, because any device can open a PDF. They're going to get annoyed when you call and ask them every 2 days because you upgraded your March by 2,000 to do it again. So get in there, do it. Like and subscribe. One of the reasons you're going to want to subscribe is I am putting that spine breaker into an app that will work on all the phones. We're going to add a whole bunch of extra math to the spine breaker. I got all these people that turn around and says, well, you don't take into account my stats, and I don't need to. There's a bell curve. You will drift positive and negative. Any custom tuning, you would have to do yourself anyway. And no one wants to custom tune with live troops. So get the spine breaker. It is an optimized starting point. You will gain 20-30% more kills. You will lose 20 to 30% less troops when you kill. Learn how to tweak your numbers up and down. Me personally, I wind up rolling an extra 10% more distance over my own math. Okay, so we did our math with where we would take off all the bonuses on our airships and gear and plus like that, and then we would do test hits. We've done 2,000 plus test hits. So we've got it figured out where the base core of the math is. Everything you start adding on to it, which is your guards, your airship, your gems, and that is such an infinite possibility that you've got to do a little tuning yourself. And for the most part, it kind of goes up in an even fashion, unless you're one of these people that's like me and you're stacking one stat. All right. Now we have the war reports in there, and that's going to throw all kinds of fuzzy math in. I'm so glad that I got a bunch of that Spinebreaker base math done long before the war reports come out, because it really would have messed up some of our base math. Now, like and subscribe, please. I cannot ask you enough to do the subscription portion of it. We are trying to get Google to do what's called a review of my channel. Okay. And I need, I think, another 400 subscribers from today. That's all I need. And then they will do a review. So there's lots of other videos out there. Click through them. There's a playlist. If you go to youtube.com/gunmuse, down at the bottom, there is a Guns of Glory playlist. People find themselves getting lost in that thing because I kind of babble on, and sometimes I get off track, and the off-track nuggets are gold. All right, and it's only because I thought of something that I didn't mean to think of during that video, and some of it's longer. If you're a new player to the game, I am going in and updating some of the older content, 7-month-old content, because the new armory changes how you put gear on, or what you really need to focus your spending on. So where we were when we told you to spend $40 a week, or your $10 weeks, it's completely different now. You can go in and put Duelist on in, well, I built a new account, so we're doing the new videos. I built a brand new account that we didn't spend any money on. I am C14 in 7 days, and I just started cooking my Duelist boots, and I haven't spent a dime on that account yet. So it's different than it used to be. And then I've got farms in this kingdom that are already building their Demon Hunter sets, and I'm not spending any money on my farms. I say that, but I actually put the 499 build gear and the 499 gems on my farms so that they don't eat RSS while they grow. Because the whole point of the farms is to get RSS off them, right? And I've got a couple videos that I just did prior to this that are specifically about what classifies an account as a farm, in my opinion. Okay, if you're out there using your farm to gather, you are wasting your time. You need to understand where catacombs and the spirit mines. You've got to, which means that you need gear. You need gear on your creation, and you need gear on your farm, so that you can do the level 10 spirit mines, and so that you can get past level 7 into catacombs. Because once you're up on level 8, you're getting max RSS every day. And if you start that from the day you start your account, by the time you need that RSS, you'll be there. Because my brand new account at C14 is already on level 6 in the catacombs in day 7. And so it's already getting the second tier to where I'm buying iron. I'm already stockpiling iron in the bags. So once I hit C16 and start using iron, not a big deal. Won't matter. The key to almost all this stuff is planning ahead. You plan ahead by watching these videos and seeing what's coming. If you're only coming back here to find out what's going wrong, that's helpful, but it's not, an ounce of prevention beats a pound of cure, folks. Especially if you're trying to keep your costs down. So I appreciate it. RogersRaiders.com and then YouTube.com/Gunmuse. Hit subscribe so that you know when I launch that app. You'll be one of the first ones to know, because the app's going to have a lot more features built into it. I can do a lot more complicated math on the server that I do with a pencil in here. I can duplicate it on a server. Things that we'll have is you can be able to put your march in and click your specific job. If you're a tower leader, I will tell you how to build your tower march. If you're a sniper, I will tell you how to build your sniper march. If you're going to sit in the palace, I'll tell you how to build your palace march. I will tell you what size your slot 3 reinforcement button's going to need to be, so that you can start sending your reinforcements while they're sending their rally. And when their rally hits, your reinforcements are already there. No lag time. There is going, all the things that I have to train by hand, I'm going to put in an automated app for people on their phone. And then you go in that day and say, okay, today I'm sitting in a tower. Boom, you're going to click the tower sitter button. And I'm going to tell you how to set up all 3 of your formation buttons. And I'm going to tell you when to send your marches and do all kinds of helpful hints. Just read and click, and you win. Until your opposing kingdom learns how to do the exact same thing, and I hate to tell you this, guys, I do this so that I can get viewers, so I want the opposing kingdom to be good too. So make sure that you've got your people learning before they learn. If you're one of the few that discovered this early, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, log in to RogersRaiders.com to get the Excel download. Thank you very much.